Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's training. This is training number 9, and I am really excited to share this with you. So the end result of what you're going to get an understanding of what to do at the end of this training is to make your habits enjoyable, effortless, and effective. And so for a moment, I want you to just think about all the things that are easy for you to do, all the things that don't require any thought whatsoever in your life, the things that come to you naturally and easily, even as far as the very first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning. Do you look at your phone? Do you go straight to the bathroom? Like, what is it that you are actually doing very first thing in the morning? That is an effortless habit, right? Like that requires no thinking on your part. Now, whether it is enjoyable or effective to your goals, that's another story. But that's the effortless sensation that we really want to have for our health and our fitness goals. So what I want to share with you is some of the internal mechanics, and then also some of the tangible stuff that you can start working on to make that a reality for you. So to give you some context, the tools within are something that I have been working with for the last 13 years, because when binge eating stopped working, when I was not feeling better after or during the binge itself, I was like, oh my God, I have to figure something else out. And synchronistically, I already had a mental health appointment scheduled the next day that my binge eating stopped working. So it was really perfect timing that I was able to get the help that I needed. And so from that endpoint, from that starting point, I went to 3 different therapists after my emergency, where do we want to go in ways that we can get mental health. One of those 3 therapists that I went to afterwards said that I had all the answers. And I was so frustrated because I said, if I had all the answers, I wouldn't be here. And I was at this moment where I was just like, I know I'm super screwed up. I'm not happy. My stomach is always upset. I'm always stressed out. And now eating isn't even getting rid of my uncomfortableness. And so I was really at this point where I just really wanted someone to tell me what to do, and I would do it. And so since then, I've done cognitive behavioral therapy. That was my very first thing that I did, as far as really understanding what this whole thing really is. And then I've moved into all different things. But then in 2020, well, let's go back to 2015. So 2010, I'm feeling like crap. Binge eating isn't working for me. I start doing cognitive behavioral therapy. The therapist says, you have all the answers within. I'm like, if I had all the answers, I wouldn't be here. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Then in 2015, my gym closed, and I was really sad about that. And that failure translated to I'm a failure in every area of life. And then in 2017, I had a disc slide up and above the one below it on the MRI. It was really crazy. We didn't even have an external accident. And that's when I started to learn about psychosomatics and the mind-body system. I still wasn't too much in the heart at that point. But then in 2020, we had a major energetic shift on the planet, and we are able to activate different parts of ourselves. And so I got energetically activated. It's called a Kundalini awakening. And that's when I really started to perceive energy and feel energy as this tangible thing that we could work with, just like we could work with a dumbbell or a barbell. So on this journey to find these answers within, what I have really come to understand is how our body is working energetically, how our thoughts and our feelings are working on the non-physical side. And that non-physical side is where we feel the resistance. It's where we feel the block. It's where it is so freaking hard for us to follow through and go to the gym in the morning and get up out of bed when the alarm goes off. And it's the reason why it's so hard to follow through with habits at night when we're relaxed and we just want to graze on food after a long day of work. That stuff is the thoughts and feelings of the non-physical universe. And so what I'm going to share with you is how you can actually work with those thoughts and feelings in this training today so that you can find habits in the real life that you're going to do with your body that are enjoyable, that are effortless, and that are effective. So where we're going to start right now is that I want to share with you how the energy works in your body, okay? Because there's so many times that we we'll sign up for a challenge, or we'll work with a personal trainer, or we'll work with anybody who's going to help us get to our goal. And the first thing that we do that we usually get confronted with or get given in this like coaching partnership is a visualization. What do you see your end result as? And so for fitness, and when we're doing a physical transformation, a lot of times we have the sexy aesthetic, because feeling sexy is what is then on a primal human connection level. The feeling of sexiness really means that you're going to attract a life partner. And when you feel good in your body, and then you see yourself doing things in your business or your career or your impact, like whatever you relate, what you do for a living to make money, when you see your healthy body or your hot body doing those things, we also on an internal level think that the body is going to give us success. It's going to give us money and reward. And then also when we see ourselves in this visualization being happy, we think that being in that physical fit body or thin body, or like whatever it is that it looks like to you, we think that's going to give us happiness. But the truth of it is, your physical body, the aesthetic appearance of it, is not going to make you happy, is not going to make you successful, and is not going to attract a life partner to you. It won't. That is not its job. And maybe not even necessarily thinking about it as a job, but the body is not the reason why you have happiness, success, and partnership and connection with other people. It's your energy that does that through the body. And so what we want to actually start to disassemble is that when we have that visualization, when you are thinking about the end result of your dream body, there is no if-then statement. We are going to eliminate the unconscious if-then statement and meaning that the mind has created that says, when I look like this, I'll be happy. When I look like this, I'll be successful. And when I look like this, I'll have that connection. So we're really looking for connection when I say life partnership. It doesn't necessarily mean life partner, but it could be. And so when you think about this, you think about sexy, you think about feeling good, and you think about being happy. We're equating the body as delivering those sensations to us for those outcomes. And that's, it's fucked up. Like we can't go about it that way. It's because when we go about it that way, we are making those end results of happiness, success, and connection dependent on the physical body. When we make those things dependent on the physical body, we become dependent on the activities that we're doing to the body. So it's a slippery slope. It's like so fine-tuned of how it goes off the rails. And that's that fine tuning that we're going to talk about today is the reason why it's hard to follow through. It's the reason why it's hard to find something that's enjoyable for you to do long term. And it's also the reason why, if you are doing certain things with your habits, why your body isn't transforming. Because it's energetic. It's a thought and feeling, and thoughts and feelings are produced in the mind that affects the vibration of our body, which affects the law of attraction, which is a universal law. And then it also affects the molecules of emotion that are secreting from the brain that then keep your body in a regenerative anti-aging state or a degenerative aging state. So these are very important elements of how thoughts and feelings are affecting the physical body. So what I want you to think about, instead of visualizing the body and seeing, oh, I'm going to be happy when I get the body, I'm going to be successful when I get the body, I'm going to have the connection when I get the body. No. What we really want to feel is, what is the happy, successful, loved experience of our life? What is that end result? That's the end in mind that we're going to visualize. Because when we can see ourselves living in that happy, successful, and loved reality, what we really want to do is be able to find how we can do things right now to make us happy, how we can recognize how we're successful, and how we can give ourselves love. Because that end result in mind of happiness, success, and connection is what we have to give ourselves first, so that we can combine our inner world with our physical body, so that then the things that we do with our physical body in the outer world are effortless, enjoyable, and effective. So let's go through the happiness factor. We have to actually observe in our life the things that make us happy. And we have to integrate as much as possible things that make us happy. So if you go to Instagram and you're scrolling and you go to accounts that make you feel bad, you have to stop doing that. It's just a habit. And when we're used to feeling bad, we are used to feeling bad. And when we don't feel bad, the unconscious programming ticks a little switch in our brain that says, we're used to feeling bad. Here, let's go do the thing that makes us feel bad. Right? Because it's the mind-body connection, then it's the body to world connection that we're dealing with. So for your brain to know whose body it's residing in, it has to have this connection of the molecules of emotion. So if you're you're on a high, right? You're having so much fun working out, your enthusiasm is high, your effort is high, and you are feeling so good. Your attitude is high because you just started a new workout program, a new routine, a new diet, whatever. You are like gung-ho, you are ready to go. Well, eventually, those molecules of emotion that connect the mind body with your enthusiasm and your mindset in your mind to do this thing, with the actions that you're now doing, the molecules of emotion, of excitement, are now all inside your body. Eventually, those feelings are going to wear off because the novelty of the new experience and the results that you get right in the beginning are going to go away. They're going to be less obvious to you, just like whatever you do in the morning is pretty not obvious to you because you're just so used to doing it. You wake up, you check your phone, you go on the toilet, you scroll, right? Like we have this not so obvious lifestyle that we're living. So when we are on that high of doing a new thing and we have matching molecules of emotion that eventually run out, plus even if they don't run out, maybe your body is still in that molecular high. Eventually, your cells are going to be like, wait, what? We're supposed to have degenerative molecules of emotion. We're supposed to have the molecules of emotion that make us feel fat and worthless. We're supposed to have the feelings that are bad. So when those cells are out of their previous, more consistent, maybe for years or decades, degenerative molecules of emotion, they are addicts to that. That's who they are. So then they literally send a message up to the brain to be like, hello, where are our regular molecules of emotion? And if your brain gets that signal, it hears that unconsciously, it hears that signal, and then it thumbs through all of your memories in your unconscious, things that you don't think about until you need to think about them. That's what the unconscious is. Write that down. When it finds a reason to give you those degenerative bad molecules of emotion, if it finds a reason, it's going to secrete those molecules of emotion and we start feeling bad. So when we feel the urge to do something that's going to make us unhappy, I want you to think about this as a scientific level. I want you to think about this, that you are exercising your insides. So when we can integrate things that make us feel happy, whether it's working out with someone, like a friend at the gym, whether it's going on a walk, whether it's sitting outside during sunset, whether it's changing the music that you're listening to, whether it's watching trash TV about dating. Like, I love trash TV of the reality shows of dating, because like you can literally like watch people and their attachment styles of avoidant or anxious, and like how cuckoo we get when we feel that connection and then it goes away, because that's what we're dealing with on the insides, but it's the connection to ourselves. So I love dating trash TV. I don't really like The Bachelor. I like more of like the Netflix type stuff that's like even like more ludicrous, of like Married at First Sight. So if we can start to do things that make us happy, we are going to make our physical body, in the reality that it is right now, match more of the end result of what we had already thought that that dream body was going to give us, right? Because what we're really after is happiness. But in that initial visualization, when we don't understand how the energy works, we think in that visualization that the body's going to make us happy, and it will not. So step number one is that you want to be creating happiness in your life on a regular basis and start eliminating the things that don't make you feel happy. Number two is that we have a concept of that dream body manifestation, that it's going to make us successful. So for me, being in fitness, this was always so frustrating for me. I totally thought that like I had to be perfect in my body to be a fitness professional. And I've done so many different things within fitness. And so like one time I was working out with powerlifters, and the powerlifting coach said, you really always need to be 6 months stronger than your clients. 6 months stronger than your clients. Another one said, you have to have had an injury and come back from the injury in order for you to coach powerlifting. It was like these concepts were like you yourself had to have gone through these things in order for you to make a good professional. And then the other side of it, from like the aesthetic and the fat loss side of it, it's like, if I have that dream body of what I want my body to look like, that means then the clients are going to come to me in droves. So what is it for you? That means you're going to be successful if you have that body. Because what we actually have to do, and actually like have to start understanding, is that when we're doing all the right things, but we're not getting the results, or when we know what to do, we just need to do it and we can't bring ourselves to do it, we're dealing with thoughts and feelings, right? Like, you're on board with that. You understand what I say by that. So part of the reason why those outcomes are happening, that you can't bring yourself to do it, or you sabotage yourself, or the things aren't working, they're not paying off, like you're not getting the physical reaction from those things, is that there's part of us, for us who are struggling with that, because that's what it was like for me for so long, we're dealing with an unconscious program that's about achievement and proving our worth. So whatever environment and culture and caregiving you had in your 0 to 7 that required you to not have your emotional experience, or required you to change who you are to have that acceptance within those environments, within the culture, and within your caregivers, that translates for us into the achievement, into we're never good enough, into checking a box, not enjoying the reward of actually accomplishing something, and immediately moving on to another endeavor. If this is what you do, that's Dr. John Sarno's work of being the overachiever and being a perfectionist. It's that when we're not noticing, or when we're feeling that our doing is the thing that gives us value, we're constantly chasing the achievement. And so what that does to us is it makes it to where we never notice our power now. And if we don't notice our power now and how we're successful, we're still going to use the body and our achievements in whatever area of life we're focused on as the means to that self-worth. So if you can recognize where you have your impact, where you've been successful, if you can recognize the ways that you have overcome the odds, where you've fought through something, where you've overcome something, where you've come to peace with something, that's the success that you need to start acknowledging for yourself right this minute. Because again, in that visualization, you getting the body of your dreams is not going to equate to success in whatever you think the body is going to give you success in. It's not going to happen. We have to notice that first for us to experience success. Then the next thing is the love, is connection, is feeling sexy. And what I noticed about this is that, I'm looking at this is that we have the mind, the body, the world. The mind body has a connection through the emotions, because the emotions are also held in the brain and the heart, and they're expressed and felt in the body. But then we have the body to world. So we have the mind body connection, then we have the body to world connection. And that's how our body is actually creating our reality around us. So if we visualize our body being sexy, however we feel sexy, and we see ourselves either making love with someone or being surrounded by people who think we're cool because of the body, we want to recognize that what we're actually looking to feel is love and connection. And having the perfect body, your dream body, is not going to give you love and connection to other people. It's just not. And so what we have to do is actually get into loving and connecting with ourselves. And this part is so hard because we're going to the seat of the soul. Because the seat of the soul of who you truly are is held in your unconscious. And the reason why we have the unconscious is so that we don't have to think about things all the time. If we had to think about what it is to breathe and to blink and to grow hair and to just be you, you wouldn't have a lot of time, or you wouldn't have a lot of brain capacity and time to actually do the things to have the life experience, to do things to earn money, to pay your bills, to have shelter over your head, to be able to buy food, to cook food, to eat food. Like, there just wouldn't be enough time. So the unconscious is so important. And the unconscious is known as the seat of the soul. So if we're not connected to our soul, the reason why we're not connected to our soul is because of the human conditioning. So what we have to do is actually get back in touch with who we are, and who we have to come back to the person before we started doing the activities to fit in. So there's an exercise to think about who you were before you started dieting, before you found out that your body wasn't attractive, basically. Who were you before that? You were probably a teenager. You may have been under 10 years old, but you were most likely a teenager. So we can look at these times I like that exercise, but it's not deep enough. Because if you're someone like me who's had chronic pain, who's dealt with migraines, who's had digestive inflammation, that's all deep unconscious. That is all 0 to 7. I don't know why I feel so bad. I don't know why I've disengaged from my true self so that my body is divided. We have to go back way far. And so the going back way far is uncovered in your practice of loving the parts of you that you hate in this moment. So whatever it is that you don't like about yourself, whether if you look at yourself in the mirror and you look at your physicality and you're like, I don't like my stomach, I don't like the back of my arms. You Google metaphysical meaning of arm fat, metaphysical meaning of fat, metaphysical meaning, spiritual meaning of the torso. Because the information is out there of what is stored in your body, what mental, emotional states are stored in your body. So in 2020, when all the lights came on and I was able to perceive energy and I was really able to understand what these tools within are that I've been journeying to find the last, at that time, the last 10 years. What was I going to tell you? Oh, shoot. It just went away because I was like too concerned about giving you the correct time frame. Oh no, it totally escaped me. Okay, wait 1 second. I don't know what I was going to say. Basically, I think I'll just tell you this, that when I learned about the divided mind from Dr. John Sarno, that when our internal unconscious who we are has deep-seated anger because we weren't getting our needs met, we become the overachievers and the perfectionists because that's just like the flip result of it. Like that's what his studies are. And that's not really what I want to tell you. Oh, I'm so upset that I lost what I wanted to tell you. Oh, goodness. But basically, we have to reconnect with ourselves on that soul level. So when we have like the old, it's totally gone. And I'm so upset that I'm having a hard time bringing it back. Let's just go back to the visualization. So when we feel that sexy body, when we're visualizing that sexy body of what our dream body is going to look like and the connections that we're going to have, we have to give that connection to ourselves first. And for me, as evidenced by my symptoms of how severe my physical illness and tension was, that's how far away from my true self I was. Because I had gotten accustomed to being stressed out about getting it wrong and making sure that I was going to do things to make sure that people were happy with me, that I was doing okay, so that I could have a connection, so that I didn't feel that sense of rejection. But because I was already being avoidant with my true self, right? Because I'm not really being me, because I'm afraid being me is going to cause people to lose the connection. But my real connection to myself is avoidant. So even though I'm wanting to do things to connect with people, who I truly am is avoidant. So there was a mismatch. And so when we're looking at this from the outcome of what we think that sexy hot body is going to give us as far as connection is going and life partnership is going, or love, like, because what we're really looking for is love. We're really looking for the feeling of love. I didn't have the love for myself. And so if I'm actually kind of like removed from myself and I'm in my brain and I'm constantly thinking about the ways that I'm going to figure out a strategy to have the connection with other people to feel good enough to also be successful, which then is going to make me happy, it's like building a house on sand. And so understanding this, it's like now, like I've rebuilt myself from the inside out. So I'm always starting with what is actually connected with me. How do I feel that love for myself? How do I acknowledge that I'm okay, that I'm doing a good job without that external validation? And how can I just be happy with exactly how things are right now? Because what the end result is, by being able to think with the end in mind, right? The end in mind is your full, happy, successful, loved, cherished life. That's the end in mind. And whatever you look like in that visual is also like the end in mind for your body, right? So if we have that, but we know that the end is all about feeling those things, not the body equals those things, then if we give ourselves those feelings right now and we do stuff, we go on hikes, we go for a sprint, we do stuff with our body, with fitness, to find that thing that is effortless to us, that is enjoyable and that is effective, we get to build our lives and our habits with the energy of happiness, success, and love while we're moving towards that end result. And because the body is also conducting the energy with the law of attraction, that end result is moving closer to you. So we really are able to collapse time because we're having the thoughts and feelings in us right now, at this very moment, that we think the body is going to get us because we're thinking the body is going to deliver those exterior things to then give us that feeling. Because part of how the body is working with the world is that it's like being tickled. So when you're getting tickled and you're getting a massage, it feels way better than if you do it to yourself, because there's the element of surprise. And so when we think that our body is going to get us those things that then we think is going to make us feel happy, successful, and loved, we're looking for external validation. And maybe when you've heard people talk about, oh, you're looking for external validation, it really hasn't landed for you because it's very disempowering. But that's what we're doing. But that's how the universe works. We get to have this mirrored reality outside of us to have the element of surprise for those feelings that we want. So this is what the work is how can I feel happy right now? How can I feel successful right now? How can I feel love right now? We have to give those feelings to ourselves in this very moment. And when you give those feelings to yourself, they are in contrast to who you are now that's keeping you from following through with the habits that are going to get you that dream body. So once we have the thoughts and feelings kind of more in calibration or more unison, because when you're feeling happy, successful, and loved on purpose, and you allow yourself to look at the limiting beliefs that are probably immediately going to pop up that says, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true, here's why. When you start to look at those things and you really come to peace with those, you forgive who you need to forgive, you let go of it, you move on, you extract the wisdom. That's the process of getting your thoughts and feelings on the non-physical side in order. And then all you have to do is live. All you have to do is go try different fitness classes to see which ones you like. All you have to do is try different styles of working out to see what type of lifting weights you like to do. All you have to do is do some outdoor activities to see which one you really have fun with. And then when you find the thing that's enjoyable, it will become effortless because it's enjoyable. And because it has to do with fitness and it's making you feel good, it is going to be effective to move the dial towards your dreams. And then what happens is those thoughts and feelings and your enjoyable, effortless, and effective habit, they just keep moving you along. And because your energy is in that state and because you're doing your part, the end result is coming to meet you. And so it's like, now I'm like, I mean, obviously I like put good lighting on and stuff, but like a lot of times, like I look at myself and I'm like, holy shit, like you look so different. I look so different than I looked 3 years ago. I look so different than the photo I put sometimes on my Instagram of when I had my disc herniation. My face, I don't even look like the same person. And who I was back then was so disassociated from myself and so mismanaged with my thoughts and feelings. And you literally could see the physical expression of it. So you can make drastic changes. My body with bodybuilding 6 days a week in about 10 months, I have such a different look to my body. I'm so much stronger. My neck is way less vulnerable because I've worked on just the upper back muscles, one workout at a time. Like it's been just incredible. But who I've been in the process has been consistently choosing things that make me happy so that I keep the regenerative molecules of emotion secreting from my brain so I don't have inflammation. I constantly look for affirmation within myself and give myself appreciation and gratitude of like, you're doing a good job. You're moving the dial forward. When I see people have a good experience with me, like in my training sessions, with my one-on-one sessions with my clients, I watch people's faces. I watch people's eyebrows go up when they do an exercise that they thought they couldn't do. And I'm like, they're winning. And they're winning because I helped them do that. I taught them how to do that. And I give myself like an internal pat on the back of like, good job, because that's the whole point, right? To like help people change their own lives. It's not me being successful means that other people are successful. And then love, it's really like when I notice things that I don't like about myself, or if something comes up or a memory comes up where I'm feeling regretful, I'm like, no, it's okay. I love you. A lot of our lack of self-love is regret. And so we're going to have moments that things come up where we're reminded of who we are, of who we've been when we haven't been in our best self. And it's a lot of those times that we see ourselves as undeserving of love. And we really need to love ourselves beyond that and give ourselves the compassion that a lot of the stuff that we've done has been because it was learned behavior, or it was to protect ourselves from pain. And so I've been practicing this stuff, and my life has just changed so much. And it's like every day, all day, I'm always trying to figure out how to refine this to let you know what it's like to work with these tools within, because finally finding the tools within in the last 13 years and putting them to work and understanding them as a mechanic, just like a barbell or a dumbbell or a kettlebell, like you can work with the tools within to meet your dream body faster. So let me know how this goes. I hope this was effective for you and it was easy to grasp, and you can take the intangible and move it into the tangible with your habits so that you can bring your dream body closer to you faster. You become your dream body faster. And then also I should let you know, next weekend, July 1st, I'm doing a training and a workshop. So this is going to be on Zoom. I'll put the links in the comment. And part of it is going to be training like this. And then part of it is going to be workshopping, where I'm going to give you exercises and I'm going to coach you through the exercises so that you can get some results now. And this workshop is free. The replay is going to be up on YouTube, but you're not going to be able to have that workshopping with me. And if you sign up before July 1st, you can have a 15-minute VIP call with me where we're going to talk about your goals to really make that training. It's an hour long next Saturday at 10 a.m. really effective for you. So check that out in the comments if that is not something that you're interested in. And if you want to get started in a deeper relationship, you'll use Hottie with the Body. And that is my $1 a day membership where you get everything that you need: diet, exercise, mindset, energetics, and we have a monthly coaching call. But that you will have everything that you need, all of the tools, and then time with me once a month. And it's fabulous. And I'll put that link in the comment as well. Thank you so much for being here.